Hello friends, this is Abhishek and you are watching Backlog. So let's start with another passage. Okay, so let's talk about the fact on income distribution. 30 years ago, we were a relatively middle class nation. It had not always been thus. Hold on. Let's start. Let's talk first about the fact on income distribution. 30 years ago, we were a relatively middle class nation. It has not always been thus. Glided age America was a highly unequal society and it stayed that way through the 1920s. During the 1930s and the 1940s, however, America experienced what the economic historians Claudia Golden and Robert Marco. So let's start talking about Great Compression. Okay, a drastic narrowing of income gap, probab- probably as a result of New Deal policy, and the new economic order persisted for more than a generation. Strong unions, taxes on inherited wealth, corporate profit, high income, close public scrutiny of corporate management all help to keep income gaps relatively small. The economy was hardly egalitarian, but a generation ago the gross inequalities of the 1920s seemed very distant. Now they are back. Okay, 1920s seemed very distant. Now they are back, according to estimates by economist Thomas Piketty and Emmanuel Says, confirmed by data from the Congressional Budget Office. Between 1973 and 2000, the average real income of the bottom 90% of American taxpayers actually fell by 7%. Meanwhile, the income of the top 1% rose by 148%. The income of the top 0.1% rose by 343%, and the income of top 0.01% rose 599%. Those numbers exclude capital gain. Okay, the distribution of income in the United States has gone right back to glided age level of inequality. So let's start with first question. Figure about the American economy shows that. Okay, first, the New Deal responsible for the decline in US economy. Okay, there is no talking about, we're not talking about New Deal. It's not wrong. The income difference between American people have become similar to those in 1980. Yes, this can be. A drastic narrowing of income differences has occurred. We are not talking about any drastic narrowing. Okay. B. The income difference between American people have become similar to those in 1920s. It has been said here. If you read from the gross inequality of 1920 seemed very distant. Now they are back, according to estimate by Thomas Piketty and Samuel. The Congressional Budget Office says 1973, an economist. This statement itself says that they are back. Okay, the income difference between American people have become similar to those of 1970, and it also, and they are back. It just says that yes, that these conditions and criteria have come back to these current days. Okay, according to estimate by economists. Next question. Okay, between 1973 and 2000, about 90 between 1973 and 2000. Okay, let's go with that point. Data from the Congressional Budget Office between 1973 and 2000, the average real income of the bottom 90% of American taxpayer actually fell by 7%. Okay, 90% taxpayer fell actually by 7%. Okay, so about 90% of Americans have seen relatively better income. No, we are directly saying that over 90% of Americans have seen their income dip. No, the average income of 90% American decrease. Yes, it has said directly it 90% of American taxpayers actually fell by 7%. About 90% of American income has escalated more than the income of 0.1%. There is no relation to it. So C is the right answer. Okay, all the data quoted are from, okay, this is very simple. If you read from it, according to the estimate by the economist Thomas Piketty and Emmanuel Says, confirmed by the data from the Congressional Budget Office between 1973. Okay, there are two economists, Mr. Thomas Piketty and Emmanuel Says. Okay, there is no need to read. The data provided by Thomas Piketty and Emmanuel Says. Okay, that's the right answer. So, which of the following was the new economic order that is mentioned in the passage? Okay, the moment I started this passage, when you read it, this is what we call the great compression, I mean. Okay, because we are discussing about this point. If you see 2 points, we are discussing from that point to this point. Okay, so great compression, I mean, this is a very much an egalitarianism their topic and things that were discussed. So this is the right answer, the great compression. Okay, so take care, thank you.